Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a bit more Hardspace Shipbreaker. We're probably going to keep poking and prodding on the new scrap ship. I'm not sick of it yet, you know, and at the moment we were basically just interrogating and, or however you would like to call it, and dissecting the industrial gecko. Probably it's my favourite of all the ships if we're being perfectly honest. But yeah, let's see how this scrap one goes. At the top I'll just say we got into a bit of a chat on the last episode, as I want to do occasionally, sort of wander into the more philosophical gaming questions, and I was talking about how my concerns, you know, I'm not a doomsayer and I'm not overly negative, but my concerns that this game is showing signs of slipping into sort of popularist changes that lean towards those who well, I disparagingly say baby mode. It's, you know, it's a bit of a cheeky sort of term, but you're seeing how they're changing the way that you can now smash the supports with a boop as opposed to having to risk damaging internal systems, and there's various other changes that we've been looking at, introducing the Zen mode and oxygen timer relaxation and all that. I just feel that in a game that was sort of, I think the challenge and the attraction for most people is the idea of sort of complex puzzle solving under a stressful sort of environment where you can and will die and you'll be docked for it. It sort of seems to be against the original creative spirit, or at least how they pitched it to us, to make it so easy and accessible for all. Again, I'm not one to gatekeep games, you know, I'll just as easily say I think Candy Crush and those sort of games are great, and people that play them, there's nothing wrong with that, but I know there are people that hate that. I know I'm starting with a little bit of a rant, but it's more of a follow-up previously. I guess all I'm saying is this game did sort of flag as a more hardcore, stressful experience, but a lot of the updates seem to be leaning towards walking that back. So, I could be wrong, but I'd be curious while we track this over the coming months to see what happens in the future sort of updates as well. And you know what, I'll be the first to say, if making it easier and more accessible actually makes it into a better game, then I'm all for it. But I wonder if that's really such a great idea to homogenize it. But anyway, here we bloody go. What do we got? Well, not any of the ships I want. Oh, there we go. There's one there. The Hudson. Oh, that's a good name. I'm Hudson. He's Hicks. Oh man, I watched that recently. Such a great movie. Anyway, if you have to ask, well, I mean, I have to wonder if you're really a true fan. I love how rough and scrappy and gross this ship looks as well, so that's cool too. Alright. So let's get straight in there. We'll do a kidney pull on the reactor. Now, my rant got me distracted last time, and I forgot to delete the faceplate on the ship, and I created a bit of a chain reaction, so that was a bit silly sausage of me. See, this is what blows my mind. It has 2 doors and 1 cycle handle, right? That way's got air. That way's got air. So presumably it's going to cycle and open both doors together.
Airlock pressure levels increasing.
Okay, interesting. Now, if I were to cycle this, what happens?
Air pressure level decreasing.
Wait, why was it cycling the front of the ship? Did you just see that? All the front cycled. But this is a handle, so this won't cycle the airlock, will it?
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
That's interesting. So the atmospheric regulators seem to have a, you know, give way to the right at the roundabout sort of thing. These have a bit of a right of way over the airlock. Okay, so that corridor's got oxygen in it, and that hasn't. So what does cycling do in that scenario?
Airlock pressure levels increasing.
That allowed, okay, so that behaved as a more of a, what do you call it, an airlock in, say, like a medical center, like a transitional airlock. as opposed to, like, I guess it's the same sort of thing. But that just behaved like an airlock letting me across to the other door. Right, but there's a handle here. Right, okay, that's interesting. So if I were to turn this handle is for traversal through this door. But this handle is for traversal through whichever door is closed. So if I were to cycle this handle, presumably it'll vacuum this airlock so I can go left.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
Yeah. And that stays oxygenated. Okay, it's starting to make more sense. It's a silly design. I'd be curious though. Now again, I'm not someone who walks through airlocks routinely, you know. I mean, I've got my background from my sector of engineering, but you know, I'm not exactly Father Time, and I'm a YouTuber these days. So my point is, I'm not a 40-year veteran. If people know anything about this, maybe there is information out there. Maybe these three-way airlocks are real things and exist in reality. I wonder.
Air pressure level decreasing.
Okay, cool. So we've cycled that air out, and then because we established that the atmospheric regulator seems to get the right of way over the airlock, and we're in vacuum at the moment, so presumably cycling this will just vacuum the airlock, and it should open up three-way actually. So now we've got pass-through and perfect. All right, we figured it out. Sorry, I'll just have a quick little sip while we think about this. Very strange. I get that with a little bit of fiddling and playing with it, you can make it work, but I would think something like an airlock is a pretty high critical, like say you went on a spaceship, say you were on in a medical facility dealing with bloody viruses and all that sort of stuff, right? I would say that having an airlock like this, that if you weren't paying fully attention, you're talking to Susan about what you were watching on Grey's Anatomy and she's passing you a coffee and all this bullshit, and you accidentally shit the bed using the airlock, I have to wonder if maybe that kind of makes the design bad. The fact that it could be accidentally bunged up. Anyway, just a thought. I'm obviously quite hung up about this airlock. I know I'm not the only one. I'm sort of just trying to reconcile. I think it does work if you give it a bit of time, but that sort of defeats the purpose of a sort of airlock made for the lowest common denominator. Just my thoughts. Alright, let's pull this out the side. Maybe not that side, because there's shit floating. Well, there's shit floating in here as well. Alright, we'll go with this side. Sorry. You know how it is. It's like, hey, let's do this thing today. Oh, okay, an airlock. How interesting. I'm now distracted. Alright, off you go. Get moving. Geez, how heavy are you? Does that have a handle stuck to it? Well, that doesn't make any sense. Okay. Okay. Go away. Alright, let's try not to shit the bed this time, eh? Could you not? Alright. Yeah, I was in that moment when I stuffed it up, I was devastated because I was like, oh no, our system doesn't work. I was wrong all along. Wait, did that not pop? Ah, yeah, okay. And then when I realised that I actually left one of the steps out, that made me feel infinitely less terrible. Alright. Here we go. This is the bit I forgot. Yeah, see, look, it's got its full health bar now.
Reactor meltdown triggered. Action urgently required.
Out you go. Oh god, I thought I destroyed it because I got the nanocarbon panel warning right when I booped it. Oh, it's just sparking over there. And there you go, clean as anything. If anything, like the base plate might get damaged on the way out. That's about it. Very cool. Alright. Now these I find interesting also. They want to go to the processor. These are new, so let's have a squiz at these. They don't seem to want to come off. They're tagged for processor. So are their parts that are holding them on. Hang on, this is flagged for furnace. This giant piece of whatever is flagged for furnace. What is that? It's just random bulkhead, I think. What the fuck was that anyway?
Please refrain from damaging.
Oh, look at this thing in these bits that you can't really see. How interesting. What about that? Processor. It's all processor. Huh. Yeah, this bulkhead is purely aesthetic. Because, like... Oh, no, hang on. Oh, okay. This locks out, so we're sort of inside the cabin superstructure, right? But if I were to zap this, it lets us up into the sort of roof crawl space. Right? Which is interesting. Oh, apparently people were saying that all the airlocks have been replaced on all the ships too. That was another point. Baby mode. Like, don't get me wrong, let's not get distracted. It's a cool design. I really like that sort of quick release. It reminds me of a heat sink inside a computer, if you've ever built one. That's on my mind because I had to rebuild one recently. But again, why? What has that actually added to the game? Nothing. It's just made it easier. I wonder. I truly wonder who facilitated that change. Anyway, the reason I'm up here in the top part because the strange thing is that this area, see above the, you see what I mean? Like the superstructure's not actually sealed. Well, it isn't sort of aft of the airlock. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I found that cabin bulkhead unusual, because see, we're still in this sort of part of the superstructure. Why would you need this bulkhead here? Where's the airlock? You know? This area's like actually there, right here on the other side of the bulkhead. This area's already exposed. It's strange. That's a strange design. Anyway, now what's this? Processor. So that's really interesting. There's nothing really overtly obvious about these sort of... What are they calling them? Do they have a name? Usually when you look at things, they have a name. Panel. It looks like a door though, doesn't it? Isn't that what everyone else thinks? Let's have a bit more of a gander up here. What is this? Oh, that's nothing. That's just pretty. Alright. I mean, I guess we've got these, like, loading arms, right? I can sort of get around that. But, like, this thing is so firmly wedged in with all processor nanocarbon, you know, like, not waste, furnace stuff. And there's no button. Like, am I right in this? There's just no button? That's interesting. That's interesting. The dirty decal just got scrubbed off. Did you see that? Revealing the clean. I wonder what happens when we cut this side. Ah, it changes the decal. Why, game? Where's that happening? You don't wanna go? Are you attached to something underneath? You really shouldn't be. Hang on, why isn't that moving? Why aren't you moving? Oh, now I need to know. The things that we accidentally discover playing this game, why is that not moving? I wonder if there are any devs that watch this and look at that. That's what that is. So interestingly enough, that technically right there is actually attached. That's strange, isn't it?
All right, Cutter. Wrap it up.
Yeah, hang on.
About a minute left.
Yeah, so it's come away now. Interestingly, this is a case of the magic glue that we've discovered in this game. See how it's still half attached to that, but because we cut the plate, it lost its glue ability. Well, yeah, that was the thing. I was sort of going to look at this and see what I could do to... That's interesting. It doesn't want to unglue. It doesn't want to unglue. What if I were to cut the door? Bet everything pops off then. The door gives up. That gives up. That gives up. Interesting. That door is like bloody a Fort Knox friggin' vault. That's actually quite insane. How locked in it is. It's, I'll be honest, I'm a little deflated by it. Like, I would have thought that maybe you could press a button and open it up, or, you know? It seemed like that, like a sort of cargo door. But if anything, it's probably one of the most secure parts of the ship that we've ever seen. Everything around it is glued and nanocarbon. There's no weak spots or anything. So that's sort of become a piece of... Well, look, I'll tell you what, if you could cut that section out from another, like a third degree connection, you could probably dump the whole thing in the processor pretty easily, actually. Maybe that's the way to look at it. Yeah, it's definitely not parts that need to go to the barge or anything like that, and there's no furnaceables. Yeah, that's really fascinating. I wonder what that is. You know, like it's just purely aesthetic, but it's so difficult to extract. I wonder. Anyway, another good episode. I feel like, you know, our record on pulling cores under that technique is still solid. I still hate that airlock and think it's a great way to accidentally kill everybody on board because someone didn't quite understand how it worked because it wasn't intuitive. That's the thing. I think you could show an airlock, a normal airlock conceptually, to someone who's never seen one before, and they would understand it. They would get the point and get how to use it. Not this three-way one. I think that's actually the core of the problem. It's not intuitive. Anyway, team, thanks again for joining me. Might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.